Let's talk about 10 ways to get the point across to supersize and grow your business and supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I actually have 10 plus ways to get the point across, but our idiom for today for supersize your business and to grow and build and create the businesses that we want in the world is the first thing you need to do is get your point across. People have to know why you exist, what you're doing, why you're here. And in order to do that, you need to get attention. This idiom, just like to get the message across, and I'm looking for a magnifying glass, obviously, so I can see to get my point across, is the exact origin of it, the exact documented origin of it isn't really known, but they suspect that it's from the fact that even before language and words existed, people used to point at things to draw attention to the things they wanted people to pay attention to. Even if they weren't communicating in words, like cavemen or cavewomen, they would grunt and point to what it was they were trying to get your attention for. Now, it's just like people pointing at you when they want your attention. One of my sisters is really annoyed if you ever point, so we always elbow her because I guess my mom, when she's making a point, emphasizes and points her finger and shakes her finger, and so that's one of my youngest sister's pet peeves. So don't point at people, don't point the finger, just do things to get your point across. So how do we go about getting attention to the things and get people to understand and pay attention to the things we want them to pay attention to? What are some strategies and ways of doing that? So I found a list of actually 15 plus, but I just said 10 because 10 is a great number to get attention, to get my point across. And I'll share some of those with you. You can see which ones you can work and use for your business or not. Now, if you're in the online world, which you might be and probably are if you're listening to me, you know that there's a whole lot of ways to get attention. Some of those ways are positive, some of those ways are negative. It's up to you to decide what kind of attention you want to draw to yourself and your business. I'm going to contend all the way to the bank that positive attention is always better than negative attention. Negative attention might get you attention faster, but is it really the kind of attention that you want? And I have personally experienced both positive and negative attention in my businesses and throughout my career. And I will say negative attention is a lot more stressful than positive attention. So what are some ways that we can go about getting the point across as we're building and growing, supersizing our business? Number one, be clear and concise in all of your communication. The quicker, the easier, the faster, the more clear and concise and direct you are, the easier it is to get your point across. And make sure that people understand what it is that you're trying to share. State your main point early on. If you're meeting with somebody, and I've dealt with people that beat around the bush. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say that, but they will talk in circles, or they will talk around a topic before they finally get to the point of what it is they either want you to do or they want you to pay attention to, etc., or they want you to invest in. Be direct, be honest with people. One of the industries that drives me the most crazy with respect to this, actually there's a lot of them, but network marketing. Have you ever met a network marketer that just gets to the point immediately? Or do they always evade and pretend that they're not representing the organization that they're representing? Use concrete examples. And in addition to that, use analogies and metaphors. Tell stories. People understand stories, metaphors, and analogies, and idioms. That's why I talk about idioms every day. Believe it or not, even though idioms can be kind of confusing to non-English speakers, and guess what? There's idioms in every language. They help people to visualize, imagine, and see. It's why I use silly props in my videos to get the point across, because it's more memorable than if I just say, let's get the point across. Use visual aids. Again, visual aids, because it's more memorable. Pictures worth 1,000 words. Engage with questions. Ask questions. Repeat key points. People say, sometimes we repeat things too much, but you really can't. If it's something, the more technical, the more detailed, the more important it is, the chances are the more you should be repeating the key points to make sure that people understand. We want to summarize and recap as appropriate, always at the beginning and the end of a presentation, right? Remember back in probably grade school and high school and college, we learned that you tell them what you're going to tell them, then you tell them what you told them. That's the quickest, easiest format to making sure that you get your point across. We do that, or we ought to be doing that in almost all of our communications. If you're giving feedback to somebody or asking questions or giving them a project or giving them direction, do you tell them what your expectation is, then tell them the details, like a little more detail, and then summarize what you told them? I hope so, because otherwise there's going to be misunderstandings. Tailor to your audience. Do you keep in mind who you're talking to? I speak very differently to my 2-year-old granddaughter than I speak to my 29-year-old daughter, than I speak to my 86-year-old mom, than I speak to someone that I'm consulting and coaching with. Each are different audiences, each have different levels of understanding on the topic that we're talking about, and so I need to tailor my message to them, to my audience. Maintain eye contact. Make sure you're looking at the person you're talking to, unless you need to read your notes with a magnifying glass. Use body language. And, of course, eye contact is a form of body language, but use body language to convey your message so people know that you're serious or whatever it is that you're trying to convey. Listen actively. Let people ask questions so that you can respond and make sure that they're really understanding. Anticipate and address concerns or things that are going to be a question for people. Think about, okay, we're implementing this new process in this team. What kind of concerns and how is this going to impact the team members that actually have to go out and implement the changes? Pause for emphasis. Remember, it's okay to stop talking some of the time. That's one I need to practice more. Keep the message relevant. Make sure that you're sharing the information with the appropriate people. Don't just spam it out there or share it with everybody if it doesn't have any relevance to them and they don't care and they're not going to do anything about it. Practice and rehearse your messages. Again, I could probably practice and rehearse my videos, but I'm not going to because they're live for a day and then they're gone. But if I'm doing a presentation, or if I'm doing a sales message, if I'm doing a course, I was going through my storage unit yesterday with my sisters and my kids, which was hilarious, by the way. Embarrassing and hilarious. I hadn't been there, I don't think, for 2 years, so there's a lot of stuff, but we're trying to make room in it for some of my kids' stuff. And some of this stuff in there was, hilarious and embarrassing. It's what happens when you move quickly and you just put stuff in storage. Practice and rehearse if it's something important, and then seek feedback, get feedback. You ask questions to the receiver to make sure that your message is being conveyed and that you're getting your point across, the point that it is that you're trying to make. So, love to know your favorite way of getting the point across, your favorite way of drawing attention and understanding to the thing you want to draw attention to. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Hopefully where it came from, the origin, but a lot of them, there's not a way to pinpoint the exact origin, and how you might be able to use it to grow and supersize your business. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.